Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Mr. Toaster WX, and today, ahead of our severe weather in Dixie Alley, we are going to go ahead and cover some flash flood warnings in Tennessee and Kentucky. So right now, there are quite a few flash flood warnings, including a few considerable. Nashville, Tennessee is under a radar and gouge indicated flash flood warning. Doppler radar and automated rain gauges indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the rain area. Between 1 and 2.5 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rain will be 1 to 2 inches. This flash flooding is caused by just all of these thunderstorms that are going to move across Kentucky and Tennessee today. And then we have some of our storms that will later today be our severe storms over in Arkansas. Right now, just producing some heavy rain, and a couple of them every once in a while have a lightning strike or two. So, hope you're all doing well. Feel free to say hello in the chat. If you have any questions for any location, feel free to ask. I want to take a look at today's outlook because right now, So, we have an enhanced risk of severe weather in the orange, but then if we take a look at the wind risk, it's a 45%, which, first of all, it's not hatched, and that's pretty rare. And second of all, a 45% typically means that it would be a moderate risk. And it's still an enhanced. Our tornado risk is still a 10% hatched, but last night and this morning it was extended into southwestern Alabama, and it now goes a bit further north of Jackson, Tennessee. So later this afternoon into the evening is when we are going to expect those severe storms to fire, because right now they are in this area. If we take a look at our risk, they're in the marginal risks and no thunderstorm or general thunderstorm risks, and the environment is very favorable there. But once we get storms moving into all of over here, that is when we are going to have some real problems later this afternoon. So once they move into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and western Tennessee, and as we get later in the day, there is going to be a potential QLCS tornado event where there will be a line, and typically there are weaker tornadoes with these events in these squall lines, but if cells do become discrete and independent, then we could have a problem. Also, to make sure you are having the best experience on the stream, hit the settings icon, hit quality, and then make sure you are either on 720p or 1080p. Hello Sam, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. I don't know if this stream is in 720p or 1080. It might only be 720 because that was the compromise it wanted me to make for 60 FPS. But anyways, we do have a couple, I believe, considerable damage threat flash flood warnings. I think I'll have to click on them all and find it. Okay, there you go. Observed considerable. This is for Oak Grove, Kentucky. An observed and considerable flash flood warning for the next 6 hours and 23 minutes. So into the early afternoon and evening. That's until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 9:32 a.m. Central Standard Time, emergency management reported heavy rain causing water over roadways near Guthrie, and it's rapidly rising. Between 1.5 and 3 inches of rain have fallen, and they're expecting that amount to nearly double with another 2 to 4 inches. So this is life-threatening flash flooding according to emergency management. So turn around, don't drown, and make sure you are at higher ground, not near creeks or roadways that could flood. Some locations that will experience flash flooding include Hopkinsville, Oak Grove, Cadiz, Elkton, Fort Campbell, Land Between the Lakes area, Clarksville, Guthrie, Pembroke, Trenton, Lafayette, Herndon, Allensville, and Linton. Hello kids, storm coverage. Welcome in, hope you're doing well. So for those of you just joining us, we are currently covering these pretty considerable damage threat flash flood warnings in Tennessee and Kentucky and portions of eastern Arkansas. But the major one right now is near Clarksville, Tennessee and Oak Grove, Kentucky. They've had 1.5 to 3 inches of rainfall, and they're expecting another 2 to 4 because there are just... Look at all this rain. These aren't our severe storms. We don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings yet. But that's just so much rain that's going to be moving. All of these storms are going to be moving east. So they've already been hit by all that, and they've still got all that coming for them. It's supposed to snow later this afternoon in 2 or 3 hours for you. That's pretty cool. Hope you like the snow. And if you don't, then, yeah. But be sure you're staying safe out there and staying warm. So, this is some pretty heavy rainfall moving through the area. I'm not sure how long this stream will be. This will not be the same stream we are using to cover severe weather later today. That will be a later stream, later this afternoon. I'm not going to schedule one. We're just going to go live whenever we need it. If you are new around here, I try not to ask this too often, but I would appreciate it if you can subscribe to the channel because it spreads the message of this severe weather to more people. Our sub goal for today is 1,280. We are currently at 1,265. So, if you are just joining us, there is a considerable damage threat flash flood warning near Clarksville, Tennessee and Oak Grove, Kentucky, so be sure you are staying on higher ground. There's also winter weather advisories across eastern Nebraska, south central Iowa. Looks like it's all moved out of the Omaha and Lincoln areas for now. But now, Des Moines, Iowa, and just north of there, near Boone and Ames, is going to be dealing with this snow. Pretty light to moderate snowfall. It's just about 20 dBz, but could lower some visibility. These areas on this winter weather advisory says a band of snow will linger over parts of west central into northern Iowa into the early afternoon, with additional accumulations of around 1 inch possible in some areas. Further south, freezing drizzle may fall at times or mix with light snow. So that'll make slick travel conditions on the roads that can weigh down on power lines and collapse trees. It looks like Davenport, Iowa is getting some heavy mix right now in their area. All of this pink is mix and freezing rain, mixed precipitation. It isn't until you go north till Tipton that it starts to become snow because it's a little bit cooler up there. If we take a look at the temperature, it is 27 degrees in Davenport, but I can imagine that the feels like is a bit cooler than that. And then another winter weather advisory for the whole state of Michigan and most of the UP is under at least a winter weather advisory. They're having some heavy snow in northern Michigan, where some portions of northeast Michigan are seeing some winter storm warnings. These winter storm warnings say areas of blowing snow and low visibility until 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Sunday the 16th. And the snow accumulations by then will be 8 to 13 inches. Down here towards Flint and Detroit, it is total snow accumulations between 2 and 4 inches. In southern Virginia, where we saw those ice storms a couple days ago, some of those areas still seeing it with all that freezing rain and mixed precipitation. We can still see it, but if we go back to 75 frames, maybe I can go back and find where they were seeing a little bit more of that. Okay, so this is 75 frames back. All of this is what came through and what they were dealing with, and there was a lot of mix in there too, which you can see in the pink. So they had to deal with all of that, and that caused slick roads and those boxes where we can see the power outages. If I turn off alerts, oh no, it's doing this glitch again. But looks like some of those counties in that orange, there's probably about 40% without power, and the lighter the color, the less. But I'm going to have to go ahead and restart Radar Omega because it is not letting me see the alert menu anymore. So I will be right back, everybody. Alright, we are back. Sorry about that. But now see this whole menu in the top is back where we can see the alerts. So if I turn off the alerts menu, you can see, yeah, about 42% in Floyd County without power. This is near Rocky Mount in Virginia, is where they're experiencing those issues from all the ice. But I'll go ahead and turn our alerts back on. Also, currently right now, we have 0 tornado warnings and 0 severe thunderstorm warnings, but later today, that count will definitely increase. I wanted to see if anybody's watching, what do you think about the enhanced risk of severe weather right now? Because it should be a moderate with the 45% wind risk. And that 45% wind risk should be hatched. They should have done a 30% hatched before they went to a 45%. Doesn't really make sense, but no hate towards the Storm Prediction Center. It's just a little bit confusing to me. And I'm sure a lot of other people. Maybe they just forgot to update the categorical graphic. And that would explain that. So, looks like these flash flood warnings, they'll be in effect for a couple hours into the afternoon and evening. It's just some pretty moderate rainfall around the 30 to 40 dBz range. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple models pulled up, and then we can take a look at things like CAPE values and the HRRR for storms moving through later this afternoon. So let me go ahead and get that pulled up, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. So if we take a look at the surface-based cape, right now there isn't much except for off the coast there's about 1,000, and in southeastern Texas 300 to 400. But later today, let's see, we need around here. We get more on land, and so there we go. That's when those storms move through. There's about 1,200 to 1,300 joules per kilogram of cape. If we take a look at the HRRR model, it's not the right one. There we go. So there's those storms right now. You can see kind of in Tennessee where they're getting all that rain, and then in Arkansas, just those first storms. Those will continue until we get our line, and then it'll move into this whole area. So it says possible hazard type. On one of those it said PDS tornado. Let's take a look at right here. Oddly enough, this possible hazard type menu is pretty accurate most of the time. So most of it just says tornado, and then these storms will move across, and then there's that line for the QLCS event that we were talking about right there. If we take a look at the GFS just for storms in the future, these will move out, the severe storms, and then I am watching a potential snowstorm and more severe weather Wednesday, February 19th. And then that's pretty much the only thing that we're looking at upcoming this week that I want to take a look at, because sometimes models are too far out to take a look at. Hello, Misty. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. So, I think we'll take one last look at all these flash flood warnings, and then if nobody has any questions, once again, feel free to ask any questions. I think we'll end off the stream because we'll be live for a while later covering severe weather when we get tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings. Also, make sure you are watching the stream in the highest quality to be able to see the radar and everything the best. Hit on the settings icon, then hit on quality, and then if you're on mobile, hit advanced. Otherwise, you just need to do either 720p or 1080 for the best experience, especially if it says 1080p 60. I think this stream's in 720. What time will I be live tonight? It'll probably be later this afternoon, not quite tonight. And I don't know what time really. It's just whenever we start seeing all of those tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings issued. Thank you for tuning in as well, Maxed Out Weather. But taking a look at our flash flood warning in your Oak Grove, Kentucky, this is a observed considerable damage threat where they have had 1.5 to 3 inches of rainfall, and they're expecting another 2 to 4 inches. Will you get anything today over in your area? Right now, at least, this might be a little bit of contamination or just a lot of fog. So that's what we're looking at right now. I don't know if you'll get hit by a squall line, but elsewhere in Missouri, like near Columbia, they're getting some rain. But 80 miles per hour definitely will be possible with our squall line down south. So if we take a look at the squall line again, there is our line where we could see a QLCS event. So with that, we could see winds of 80 miles per hour, definitely. Also, just wanted to note really quick, tomorrow has been upgraded to a slight risk of severe weather just now. Still 2% tornado risks, but a 15% wind risk. So that has been upgraded to a slight risk since we started this live stream. Today remains an enhanced. It's confusing because we have an enhanced risk of severe weather, but a 45% wind risk, which is very interesting because a 45% wind risk should be hatched, and it would be moderate. But with that line, our greatest threat with today's severe storms is going to be wind, and the second greatest will be tornadoes. But it's kind of a QLCS event with that line, so they won't be the strongest. And then our hail risk has been downgraded to a 5% from a 15%. I think we'll stay live for a little bit longer here, but we're going to switch back to the radar. Every single one of these green boxes is flash flood warning. We have 23 flash flood warnings in effect right now just in Tennessee and Kentucky, which is pretty crazy. Also, if you do feel like helping out the channel and spreading the weather message to more people for later today's severe weather threat, please help me out by subscribing to the channel. Today's sub goal is 1,280. We are at 1,265. We are 15 away, and our end of year goal is 2,500. So if you are new around here, I do really appreciate it, and thank you all so much once again for tuning in. I plan to go live sometime later in the afternoon or early evening, but it really depends whenever we see probably our first severe thunderstorm or tornado warning. We'll probably be live in the next 3 to 4 hours. And later this afternoon, we'll probably be live for at least 2 hours total, not including right now. Because right now, there's no severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings, as you can see right over here on my overlay. We also have some extreme cold washes up in North Dakota and Minnesota, where it's going to be pretty cold. Dangerously cold wind chills as low as 45 below zero are possible. That is really cold. Portions of west central Minnesota, north central, and northeast South Dakota from Sunday evening through Wednesday morning. Frostbite could be in as little as 10 minutes, or I'd say even 5. But I think that will be the end of this live stream, but we will be live later today to cover our severe weather threat. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out.